Hi, today I am with Susan. Susan did her life plan last November. And Susan, it's good to have you with me today. If you would just kind of share about the life plan experience, what was good about it, what maybe if there were some bad things you want to share, just kind of tell me about the process.
Thanks, Matt. The process was really great. It's 2 days of really getting the opportunity to reflect on everything God has done in your life up until this point, and then look at how I can best serve Him with the talents and gifts that He's blessed me with. I think the process itself was really great, and the going through the different tools was a pretty meaningful thing. And some of the tools that really stick out to me are like the core values. And I think what was so valuable about that was just really reflecting on how your core values match everything else that's in your life, whether that's at work or within your family, or within the places that you volunteer, and how that leads you. That was actually a tool I brought home to my family and had my kids figure out what their core values were. And then as a family, we also decided what we wanted our core values to be. And that's something that we refer to often when we're talking about our relationships. I also think it was really great to sit and really think about the mission statement that you have. What's your personal mission statement, and what does that mean? And then to also have some tools just for when you're ready to make a change in your life, and some tools that you can use in order to help you with that. Laying out goals and making sure that you have a good balance in your life are the other things that really kind of strike me as being being really good things to just reflect on and make sure that your life is intentional as you live it.
So Susan, you mentioned your mission statement. Do you happen to have you put that to memory, or could you share the official statement with us?
Yep. My official mission statement is I will love and serve Jesus by helping others recognize their value in Him through compassionate connection, investment, and leadership.
And how have you used that since last November? How has it guided any of your thoughts or decisions?
That's a great question, Matt. Where I have most reflected on that has been at work. In my job, I have a couple of people that I work very closely with, one of whom is very young and new and just trying to figure out life, and another one who has been around a while and is dealing with aging parents and things like that. And so one of the things that I've tried hard to do is just really make sure that I am seeing them as much with the eyes of Jesus as possible, so that I can help them become everything that He desires them to be, and just making sure that I'm more intentional about making my heart readily available to those around me.
That's good. I know work is just one aspect of the life plan, and we set a lot of goals at the end of day 2. And you mentioned a little bit about the core values of your family. One of your objectives was to work on a legacy of faith with your family. How are you doing in that regard, Susan?
That's something that I always wish that I could do better at and do more with. I will say that as a result of setting that as a goal and of really wanting that to be a priority in my life, I have been far more intentional in my conversations with my children, especially. I haven't done all of the goals that I was hoping to do, like having a wall of God's faithfulness to us, but we have done things like setting goals for the year on how we can love God how we can increase our love for God with our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and having conversation about that. And then I've also tried to be more intentional about praying for my kids, not only with them in the evenings or in the mornings, but also sending them text message prayers during the day, so that they know that I am their biggest prayer warrior. That is what I desire to be. So those are some ways where I've really tried to work on that legacy of faith with my kids, so they can see my faith lived out in action.
That's another aspect you mentioned. You wanted to have your faith lived out at work as well. Can you share some experiences you've been able to do that?
Yeah, actually, right now at work, we've just been going through some difficult changes, and it's put a lot of stress on a lot of people that I care about, and it's given me an opportunity to have really great conversations with people about the fact that this won't last forever, and that we serve a God who has already won, and that these are things that can't defeat us, and that there's always hope. And so in that respect, I've been able to share a little bit of Jesus maybe with other believers. I've also had the opportunity, and just within the last month, to have an hour-long conversation with a man who just said, it seems like your faith is really real to you. What does that mean? And we got to spend an hour just talking about what an authentic faith looks like, I guess, from my perspective. And then maybe the third thing is that another fellow Christian that I work with, he and I have spent time talking about how we're more intentional about praying for our workplace and praying for our leaders and praying even for like the financial well-being of the company that you work for. Considering I work for a rather large organization that employs a lot of people, it's pretty important that we stay financially strong so that all of those people have jobs. And so just knowing that there are people that I've had that conversation with that then hold you accountable for following through on those actions has been a way, I guess, where I've been more willing to live out my faith in Jesus in my workplace.
Yeah, good. I know your faith is a core component of who you are, and we talked about that a lot over those couple days. And as you're aware, the LifePlan process, 2/3 of it is perspective, looking at what God has done in you, what God has done through you, experiences you've gone through. Can you share, if you're willing to, anything you learned about yourself over those couple days?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that I learned about myself over those couple days is that I really struggle with confidence, with believing that I have value, even though I can see the value that other people bring. And one of the things that we were able to talk about, or that I uncovered over those 2 days, is that my sin of comparison is really what drives a lot of that. And so a specific example is when I looked back over my life and we did the turning points profile, there were just a lot of examples of where my leadership had come into play in different places in my life. And for a lot of years, I had wondered if I really was gifted, I guess, in the area of leadership, because I compared my personal style to the style of a lot of other people that I know, or compared how far, if you will, I moved up in the realm of leadership in corporate America compared to others that I know who have moved farther faster. And that 2 days was really a great time for me to reflect on the fact that leadership is not something that you gain because of a title. It's something that you have regardless of what that title is or what that status is. And so it's just given me more confidence to be able to lead exactly where I am, whether that's people that rank above me, if you will, or people that I am peers with, or the people that are below me, whether that's at work or within our church or even within our family.
That's interesting. A couple of the learnings you wrote down on one of the final tools was that I need to be confident in the leader God made me to be. And another one is, it's good to be me. So, I know you can be hard on yourself. I know you pretty well, but you have some tremendous things to offer the kingdom, to offer the world. So, what advice would you give to anybody considering going through this process? Why should they take 2 days out of their life and spend the money to do this?
Yeah, I guess the best advice that I would give is that if you are even wondering if it's something that would work for you, the answer is yes, it would. And so I look at the process and I say, if you're anybody who thinks, I'm not sure if I'm completely in balance in all areas of my life, or maybe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, maybe there's something more, or if there's any of those kinds of maybes in your world, or I'm not sure what value I have added, in my life, or anything that I've accomplished, and not accomplished in the sense of what worldly success is, but accomplished in the sense of I feel like I'm living the life that God intended for me to live, or striving to live the life that God intended for me to live. I would say it's absolutely worth the 2 days to spend, and the money to sit back and spend the time just reflecting on that. You'll learn skills and tools that will help you as you make the changes, or make decisions, about changes that may be coming in your life later. It'll also just help you to maybe even just be confident that yes, indeed, I am where I am supposed to be. And then when God chooses to move you, like I said, you'll have some additional tools in your toolbox that will help you figure out if indeed this is the right place to move. And so, prayerfully consider what that will be. And my guess is that God will say, absolutely, spend a little bit of time just sitting and reflecting on the wonder and the miracle that is you.
That is awesome, Susan. Thanks for going through the process. It was a blast to do it. Thanks for your time here today. And if you listening have questions, you can get a hold of me. My information's on the website, or click on the LifePlan link, and you can find out more about the process. Thanks.